the show for real estate entrepreneurs. Florida, market crashes, construction people leave, you're losing all this properties.
Lost it all.
What was the mental shift at that point in time, and then how did you start rebuilding?
Good. Well, of course, I was underneath a rock for a few months. You know, I mean, all you could see was my eyeball poking out the side of the rock. You know, because I was licking my wounds. I mean, I truly thought I was set. It was the worst thing in the world for me to go through at the time, and period. But then luckily, again, I was in that Tony environment. I kept being around people that were thriving. I actually was in his big mastermind at that time. I keep referencing him because he's been such a big impact in my life. But I was in his platinum partnership, which, you know, it's like 120 grand all in to join at that time. It's more now. So I was around people that were thriving through that crash. And that's one piece, is you want to be around people that aren't caught up in the fear, because if you're in fear, you're paralyzed. You can't do anything, okay? So I got around people that were thriving, and I remembered what I wanted and why I wanted it. And so, you know, what you focus on grows. Where focus goes, energy flows. So you want to be sure you're focusing on what you want, not what you don't want, okay? Very important. So let me give you some examples. Like, let's say you want to get out of debt. Get that out of your mindset. Focus on income. You know, they asked Mother Teresa if she was anti-war. She said, no, I'm pro-peace. You understand the difference? Okay, so again, where you focus is where your energy goes. So I realized that I needed to focus on what I wanted instead of feeling sorry for myself. So I kind of made lemonade out of lemons, and
So
I built this company. Yeah, it was a switch, and it was you know, there were times I wanted to wallow in it, and people create stories as well. And my story was, I lost $50 million, but I was using it to hold myself back, and for significance, believe it or not. I was, you know, I'm embarrassed to admit that, but it was the truth. And when I got past the story, because we use stories as softeners so that we don't get disgusted with ourselves. They're like a breaker switch. And so I had to change my story and eliminate the disempowering stories and focus on, again, exactly what I wanted and why I wanted it. You know, now I live in a compound. I lost that house on the beach, but I live in this compound. It's on the bay. It's, you know, there's like 6 buildings. I've got this giant main house. I've got a beautiful guest house on the water. Welcome to come anytime, brother.
I'd love to be there.
I have a theater room. I've got, with a conference center above it, I've got a giant exercise room, and the place is magnificent. It's like a park. It's like a Zen park. And because God's got a sense of humor, I can see my old house across the bay because it's right out my backyard. But life is fantastic. I've got an amazing, beautiful wife. I'm focused on her. I'm focused on my coaching students, my foundation, you know, that I was just telling you about. And because I paid for everything up through 2008. I mean, that year I did 1,600 families, and I paid for it. But then when the market crashed, and I formed a foundation, nonprofit, and take donations and stuff now. Yeah. But that's where my focus is. And so, you know, it's so easy to get caught up in success and lose sight of what matters. And that was the other thing. You know, it's easy to, you know, my biggest regret in life, and let me chat about that for a second. My biggest regret in life was I'd come home to this mansion on the beach and I'd play with my kids, but I was distracted. I wasn't there mentally. And I don't want that for you. You know, I know you've got some young blood dripping from their teeth guys watching this, women watching this, that want that freaking success, that are already there or on their way to making it happen. But I don't want you to lose focus if you're in an important relationship, which we're all in an important relationship. If you've got a significant other, especially if you've got children. So, you know, they want your presence. And I don't care if it's only for 15 minutes. They want your total focus and presence. They'd rather have 15 minutes of your time than an hour of you on the phone screwing around, okay? So keep that in mind. True. And so I also take my students in my live events through this planning workshop, and I can literally do it in a minute. So let me do that real quick if you'll humor me.
Let's do it.
Okay. All right. It's so easy to get caught up in distraction. It's so easy to be so focused on what you want that you lose sight of what's most important. And like I said, that was my greatest regret in life. My kids will tell you I was a great dad, but I didn't live up to my own expectations. And so I recommend a weekly planning process, and it's real quick. I can go through it quick. It's 5 steps. And the first 2 you may not think are important. I'm here to tell you they're critical. The first thing, like I told you previously, the goals will push you, but they won't make you happy. I told you 2 months after I achieved a 20-year goal, I was depressed, okay? So the goals won't keep you happy. It's the progress and growth that keeps you happy. So the first thing you do every week is you celebrate what you got done. Okay, you just take a minute and say, Rod, good job, you freaking rock, you got that done. Takes a split second, but the key is you do it consciously. Consciously pat yourself on the back so that when you have an inevitable setback or when things don't happen as fast as you like, you're still happy because you're growing. Okay, so that's step one. Step two, journal. Okay, especially if you have kids. Capture magic moments with the people that matter. Take 5 minutes and write down anything magical that happened that week. It takes 5 minutes.
I love that.
I promise you, you will thank me if you do, okay? In 20 years, if you've got young kids, you will thank me because it's such a gift to you to be able to relive those moments because we forget so much. And so not only do you not forget, but it also causes you to create more of them in the people that you care about's lives. You're going to create more magic moments because you're thinking about it. Once a week, 5 minutes, give yourself and your family that gift. So that's number two. Now, the third thing is the big thing. And you're going to do this once. It'll evolve over time. But you're going to write down everything that's most important to you in life, okay? So you start with the people. Make a list of all the people that are most important. And it shouldn't be more than about 20 or 30 people. I'm talking people that matter, not associates, okay? And that's max. Then you're going to write down all the important pieces of whatever your core work is. If you're an agent, things you have to stay on top of, getting the leads in the top of the funnel, working the deals you've already got. So, make a list of high impact areas for you that you have to focus on. And this is how I managed multiple companies. I stayed focused on what was most important because you don't know this, Oliver, but I built 24 businesses, okay, and several have been worth a lot of money, and many have been spectacular flaming seminars, but I learned from them. But how I managed them was through this process. So if you own a business besides the real estate, then again, capture the top impact areas that you have to focus on: sales, marketing, operations, maybe website, leads, whatever it is for you. Make a list of those. Should not be more than about 12 things. This is high level, okay? What I tell my students if they're interested in multifamily is make a list of the things you're going to focus on in the multifamily space. Picking a target market, developing your team, evaluating deals. Again, maybe another 8 to 10 high level things. Now, I do this on a Word document. I've done it for 20 years. If you're more of a handwriter, handwrite it, but get it all on one sheet of paper. That's the key thing. Now, if it's a Word document, print it on one sheet of paper. Now, the last thing you're going to do after you get these impact areas from your businesses and your people that are important is you're going to list some declarations. Some things that you're committed to. Maybe you've got some lifestyle choices you want to make. Maybe you've got weight, you want to lose some weight, you want to tone up. Me, I'm going to lift a body part every day. I ask myself the question, what can I do to rock Tiffany's world this week? Tiffany's my wife. And so I'm focused on doing something to make her happy. So whatever it is for you, put some declarations down. Now, once this is done and you print it or you have it handwritten, it is a very, very powerful piece of paper because when you look at it, it accomplishes several things. Number one is you have clarity. You have incredible clarity. And again, clarity is power, right. Okay? Secondly, it eliminates overwhelm, okay? And, it's so easy to get overwhelmed with all the plates that are spinning that we're kind of trying to keep spinning. But when you can see it all on one sheet of paper, the overwhelm goes away. But thirdly, you don't lose sight of anything that's important. You maintain balance, okay? And so you look at this list once a week, and if there are people you need to touch or reach out to, or maybe your kids are not getting the attention they deserve, then you make note of that. Or if there's an area of your business that you need to, nothing gets lost, okay? You get that. But what you're gonna do then, the fourth step is you're gonna create a list of your must-do tasks for that week. Okay, this is not a place for projects. This is a place for the things you're committed to doing that week. If you've got a project, like you've got a closing or something, just list the things you're doing towards that closing or that project that week. Okay, so it's not place for goals. This is just what you're committed to doing that week. I call it my weekly must list. Then the last piece, and then I'm done with this, is there are always a few things on that list that will get you further faster. It's called the Pareto principle. There's usually about 20% of the things on the list that will get you 80% further. Sometimes they're the things you've been avoiding. Identify those things and block time for them, okay? So and maybe it's your family. And so don't be afraid to block time for your kids or your spouse. Say, baby, from 6 to 8, I'm yours. From 8 to 10, dad or mom or whatever is bringing home the bacon, okay, making the money. And they will appreciate that, okay? So don't be afraid, but block time. And when you do that, you're much more focused on what's in that block of time. You're less likely to be distracted. You are going to execute much more efficiently, and And it just, I tell you, it's really served me to stay focused on what's most important. Now, one last tip. I recommend you do this the same day and the same time of day, ideally as much as you can. Because like I do it Sunday afternoons, but whatever it is for you, pick a day and time and try to stick with that, because you want it to become a habit for success. And so if you do it for 60 to 90 days, you will do it the rest of your life. Anyway, that's my weekly planning process.
What an awesome roadmap.
Yeah.
I mean, it almost makes it on automatic on things you want to focus on, the things you want to do.
And you're celebrating your progress.
Right.
So if you have a setback, you don't get beat up, and you're capturing your life with every piece is important. So
and it you know, the tips you gave about calendaring and family time and all that, it sets expectations for everyone so they know, hey, when Dad's here now, he's all in.
Yeah. And the phone's in the door,
then, but
you know?
at 8:30 or whatever,
Right.
then Dad's going to the office and bringing home
health
the bacon.
goals, all of those things that you just keep your life in focus.
Yeah.
And focus is power. Clarity is power.
To listen to this full Founders Club interview, go to foundersclub.tv.